بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. As you remember, in the last few sessions we've been talking about self-assessment, and last week we talked about al-Muraqabah as a very important method for self-assessment and self-improvement. And we said Muraqabah is more difficult because it has to be something that you observe throughout the day. So if muhasabah means to sit, for example, few minutes and review what you have done during the day, muraqabah is that at the same time that you are doing something, say something, or you want to make a decision, you have to be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you should have full observation of why you are doing this and how you are going to do it. So we talked about muraqabah, and I said for some of our scholars muraqabah is very important, and one of those scholars that has given lots of significance to muraqabah is Allamah Tabataba'i rahmatullah alayh. I don't know if you have mentioned the story of Ayatollah Amini, not last week but maybe before, that towards end of life of Allamah Tabataba'i, the last few days he was not speaking to people. Okay? So he was in his room and looking, for example, at something or at the window. So sometimes they used to bring him food. He was not eating. So the food was there for a few hours, then they were taking. So he was not talking. So Ayatollah Ibrahim Amini, who was a student of Imam Khomeini and Allamah Tabataba'i, and has the book Self-Building, and has the book Just Ruler, I think it's for Imam Zaman. So he said in that time when Allama was not talking to people, I asked him what is the best way for improving ourselves, for building ourselves. And Allama, who was not speaking to anyone, answered to this question. So this means that he was aware but had no interest in normal conversation. For example, how is weather, what is the taste of food, He had no interest in such things. But if something was for the sake of God, he had interest. I remember Ayatollah Ahmadi Mianaji was our teacher, said something about Ayatollah Hujjat, rahmatullah alayh. Ayatollah Hujjat, his grave is in the shrine of Lady Ma'suma. So he's the one who made the school of Hujjatiyya. And actually part of it is designed by Allamah Tabataba'i. The architecture was through Allamah Tabataba'i. So Ayatollah Hujjat also was not speaking towards the end of his life. And one Talabi was clever. He said, I know how to make him speak. Because he's marja, so he has to answer to our questions. So he asked him, Agha, what is your fatwa about burnt bread? If a bread is burnt, can we eat or not? Then he had to answer. I don't know what answer he gave, but Ahmad Imadi said that he answered. Because, for Maraja to give answer to inquiries is necessary. So, Allamah Tabataba'i also answered to Ayatollah Amini. When he asked, what's your advice, what's the best method for building ourselves? He said 3 times, al-Muraqabah, al-Muraqabah, al-Muraqabah. I don't remember with alif al-lam or without alif al-lam. I don't remember that, whether he spoke in Arabic or Farsi, but definitely these terms. Muraqabah, Muraqabah, Muraqabah means I mean this. I really mean this. He could have said 3 things, but instead of saying 3 things, he repeated one thing 3 times. Okay? This means that this is the only thing that I can tell you as a summary of everything. And if you do this, inshallah, you will achieve all other things that you need. Muraqabah. So, to explain this further, I thought of reflecting on a letter that Allamah Tabataba'i wrote in response to a letter by a young person. A young person asked Allamah for advice in the year 1355, which is 40 years ago. Exactly 40 years ago, except maybe 1 month. So this person asked this question. 1355. Yes, now it is 1395. Okay? So the letter is this. Inshallah, I hope it comes. It's also online available. I read the Farsi, but you will be given the English as well. I reflect on Farsi because it might be more accurate. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Mahzar Mubarak Nukhbatul Falasifa. The blessed. Mahzar means presence, but means I don't know how we can translate this. So it means like Your Excellency. Nukhbatul Falasifa. Is it ready? Thank you very much. If you could please, yes. Nukhbatul Falasifa means the chosen among the philosophers. So you are like a summary, the chosen one. Wa'ayatullahi al-uzma, because he was also a great mujtahid. Although he didn't publish his risala, but he was a mujtahid. He could be a marja. Janab Aghay Tabataba'i, Adamallahu umrakum. May Allah prolong your life. Masha Allah, as long as He wants. Salamun alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you and mercy of God and blessings of God. Kutah sukhan anke, if there is a difference between what I translate and that translation, mark it and you can tell me later کوتاه سخن آن که جوانی هستم 22 ساله. To make it short, I am a young man of 20 years old. Could you please? Sorry. میزان تحصیل 5 ریاضی. It means that he was in year 11, not finishing his high school, in the subject of mathematics. And right now he is a talaba studying in Qom, and he has studied around Lum'a Usul al-Fiqh. So he's in the 4th year, 5th year of the Hawza. Akhundzadeh means my father is also a cleric, and I have done my military services for 2 years. This young man says, and 6 years I was in Tehran as a child. Then for my primary and high school, I went to Qom. Also, a few years I was in Kermanshah. چنین تشخیص میدهم. I have such understanding that maybe you are the only person who can answer my question. Okay? I don't know, this was a way of being clever or just simply he said this, but it's a good way to encourage the person to whom you write that you are the only person that can answer, so that person feels more responsible. در محیط و شرایطی که زندگی می کنم هوای نفس و آمال و آرزوها بر من تسلط فراوانی دارند. Yes. And he's in Qom, he's in Hawza, but still he says, where I live, lower desires and whims and appetites have, strong control over me. و مرا اسیر خود ساختند. They have taken me as their captive. و سبب آن شدند که مرا از حرکت به سوی الله و حرکت در مسیر استعداد خود باز داشته و می دارند. And they have stopped me moving towards Allah and moving towards realization of my potentialities. They have stopped me. درخواستی که از شما دارم, my request from you is please tell me what should I do to gain control over my nafs and to break this magic, and then felicity can come to me. I may need to remind you that I don't want advice or preaching, because there are many people who can give me advice. I need practical instructions. Not someone who says, be good, be pious. No, I need practical instructions. همان گونه که شما در تحصیلات خود در نجف پیش استاد فلسفه داشتید، همان شخصی که تسلط به فلسفه اشراق داشت. In the same way that you had teacher, when you were in Najaf, you had teacher of philosophy who had, very good, acquaintance and familiarity with illuminationist philosophy. Then he also says, I should also mention that I think, the writer thinks, that you are not able to give answer verbally to me, orally. Also, I am very embarrassed to take your valuable time. Therefore, I beg you, as a father, that if you find it appropriate, And if you find this request is genuine, to help me. If the answer is no, please don't laugh at my thought, my incomplete thought. And just privately tear my paper and leave me to my own. Thank you very much. So he was very honest, but also maybe in a sense clever, but really showing that he's desperate. Yes.
A few of the sentences which you translated, these are not there.
They are not there.
So good the way you did it up. We were able to take it down.
Okay.
There are 3-4 sentences, last 3-4 sentences.
Okay.
The letter you're saying it is longer than what is here. Yeah, we've not come to that part yet.
Okay, I hope then I have chosen the right letter. So
It was up to, I practice instruction for victory.
Okay.
I need practice.
Now, when I read the answer, you will realize the same or not. Because I thought this is the same translation. Anyway, you check this one. If it's not the same one, I give you inshallah this one.
The same in this one as well. He's just deleted the front.
I see. Okay. Now the answer. The main thing is the answer of Allamah. Assalamu alaikum. So he answered with giving salam. برای موفق شدن و رسیدن به منظوری که در پشت ورقه مرقوم داشته اید. To be successful and reach that purpose that you have written on the back of this paper. So Allama answered on the back of his own paper. Okay? لازم است. It's very short but very important. لازم است همتی برآورده. You have to have ambition, or maybe more precisely, determination. Himmat means ambition, but sometimes means determination. Azm. Himmat. Himmat means determination. So the first thing we need is what? Determination. So please mark on a list first, because I want to see how many moral concepts Allama is bringing this, short letter.
Here the translation says willpower. Is it the same thing?
Yeah.
The repentance also could be important.
No, that's the dependent after this. So لازم است همتی برآورده. So the first thing he says is you must have determination. But he says همتی برآورده means you must bring this out of yourself. Because every person potentially has determination. Determination is not something you buy. Is there any place you can buy determination? Can you borrow determination? No. You have to bring out of yourself. Okay? Yeah. توبه نموده. After determination, you must make توبه. Repentance. به مراقبه و محاسبه. محاسبه, if you want to say Arabic محاسبه. In Farsi we say محاسبه. به مراقبه و محاسبه بپردازید. You have to be very careful about observing, self-monitoring and self-accounting. Okay? Muraqabah.
With the translate, we God wariness as well?
God wariness is too general.
I see, too.
Muraqabah, what is the translation?
It's self-vigilance.
Okay, and muhasabah?
Muhasabah is introspection.
So, we discussed what is muraqabah, what is muhasabah. So we can use it just muraqabah and muhasabah. Okay.
The muraqabah before muhasabah.
Muraقبه is constant, and at the same time that you are doing or saying or making intention. Muhasabah is afterwards, when you have already done something. Like, for example, when you go for shopping, when you are shopping, you have to be careful. Then after you made the shopping and go home, also you go and check what you have purchased, anything, is a mistake, or, the bill is okay or not. But this is too late. It's better that when you are shopping in the store, you are careful. Yes. Okay. Now, what is the method? What is the method of this? به این نحو، in this way، که هر روز که طرف صبح از خواب بیدار می شوید. Every day in the morning when you wake up, okay? I hope you don't wake up in the afternoon or midday. Hopefully you wake up in the morning. Okay. هر روز که طرف صبح از خواب بیدار می شوید، قصد جدی کنید. Every day in the morning when you wake up, make a serious decision. Okay? قصد جدی. Serious decision. که در هر عملی که پیش آید، whatever is going to happen, whatever is going to, I'm going to come across during the day, رضای خدا از اسمه را مراعات خواهم کرد. I am going to observe the pleasure of Allah. May His name be dignified and honored. So every day you wake up, make this decision that today, in every decision that I'm going to make, everything that I'm going to do or say, every place that I'm going to go or not to go, I observe the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. آن وقت, if you have such decision, در سر هر کاری که می‌خواهید انجام دهید، نفع آخرت را منظور خواهید داشت. Everything that you want to do, you would consider, is this beneficial for my life hereafter or not? You are going to work. Is this beneficial for me? You can say, it is beneficial because I need rizq to continue my life, to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to look after my family, but not to cheat, not to be dishonest, because it's not beneficial. Don't think by this type of thing you can benefit your akhirah. So anything, even if you do something worldly, but the intention should be that I want to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to do something beneficial for my akhirah. در سر هر کاری که می‌خواهید انجام دهید، نفع آخرت را منظور خواهید داشت. You would consider the benefit for the hereafter. به طوری که, in this way, که اگر نفع اخروی نداشته باشد انجام نخواهید داد. Not only it should not be harmful, it has to be beneficial. So if it has no benefit for your akhirah, you must not do it. Okay? هر چه باشد, whatever it might be, any action, any thought, must be only done if it is beneficial for your akhirah. همین حال را تا شب وقت خواب ادامه خواهید داد. You must try to have this condition till night when you want to go to bed. Of course, initially in the first day, you may forget. Okay? For example, you make this decision 6 o'clock in the morning, then all of a sudden 9 o'clock you remember you had forgotten. So you make again decision, but at 10 o'clock you remember you have forgotten. But you keep trying, and inshallah after some time, then you will remember. Pardon? Yes. So همین حال را تا شب وقت خواب ادامه خواهید داد. You would continue this till night when you want to sleep. But before you sleep, you have to do something else. This much is مراقبه. وقت خواب 4-5 دقیقه در کارهایی که روز انجام داده اید فکر کرده. 4-5 minutes. Okay? Before you sleep, spend 4-5 minutes reviewing what you have done. فکر کنید. Think about what you have done. And what you have not done, of course. Something, maybe you had to do something like mubahasa and you have not done it. So you have to remember.
Is this muhasabah again as well?
This is muhasabah. That was muraqabah. Now this 4-5 minutes is muhasabah. So muraqabah is 16 hours, 18 hours. Muhasabah is 4-5 minutes. یکی یکی از نظر خواهید گذراند. So you have to review, like going backward to watch everything quickly. Maybe then you realize that 4-5 minutes is not enough. You have to spend more time. Maybe some of the things you have to just keep thinking. هر کدام را مطابق رضای خدا انجام یافته شکری بکنید. When you review your actions and you find that you have done it for the sake of Allah's pleasure, thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that alhamdulillah you had this tawfiq to do it for the sake of Allah. هر کدام تخلف شده. If you have not done it for the sake of Allah, even if it is not haram, just you didn't do it for the sake of Allah, you have to do istighfar. Yeah? Let me give you an example. If you work in a company, you are an employee for a company, they give you a car to use it for company. And then with this car, you go to park to enjoy yourself. You cannot say, I didn't do any haram. This is haram that you are using car which is belonging to company for your benefit. For a servant of Allah, anything that he does not for the pleasure of Allah is haram. Not fiqhi haram, but it's against the etiquettes of being servant. Yeah, you don't need to say, I didn't do haram. Yes, alhamdulillah, you didn't do haram, but anything that you did not for pleasing Allah is a sin for you. Okay, is it clear? Yes.
How would you distinguish between tawbah and istighfar?
Istighfar is the means for tawbah. هر کدام تخلف شده, any action that is not done for pleasing Allah, استغفاری بکنید. Do istighfar for it. So not one istighfar for everything. For every action do istighfar. Okay? Not just one for everything. for example, if I have made few troubles for my neighbor, I have broken his window, I have put rubbish on his garden, I have, annoyed his children, made noise in the night. I cannot just say, sorry, please, accept my apologies. You have to make sure that for every bad thing you ask for apologies, so that first of all, this would be a lesson for you to humble you, that in future you don't do this. And also he knows who has done this for him, to him. He doesn't think that other neighbors have done this. So for every bad thing you do istighfar. این رویه را هر روز ادامه دهید. The same manner has to be repeated every day, even weekends. Yeah. We don't have weekends for this. Weekday, weekend is the same. این روش اگرچه در بادی حال سخت و در ذائقه نفس تلخ می باشد. This method in the beginning is difficult, and for the human self or soul which has not been trained is bitter. Okay? It's not very sweet. It's not like, doing something enjoyable for the beginners. ولی کلید نجات و رستگاری است. But this is the key for salvation and success. And no key is sweet. If you put key in your, it's not sweet. Key is not sweet. Key is something not for taste. It's something which used to unlock. هر شب پیش از خواب, another advice, before you sleep, if you can recite those chapters of Quran which are called musabbahat, Hadid, Hashr, Saf, Jum'ah, Taghabun. If you can recite before night these 5 chapters. Pardon? Numbers, yes, you can get Hadid, Hashr, Saf, Jum'ah, Taghabun. All starts with tasbih. If you cannot recite 5 surahs, at least Surah Hashr. پس از 20 روز از حال اشتغال, after 20 days of doing this, حالات خود را برای بنده در نامه بنویسید. So he says, write back to me. So it means that Allamah really wanted to help him. And in this way, that young person gets encouragement that I must do this so that I can tell him, what I have done. So Allamah said, after 20 days of doing this, tell me what feelings, what conditions you have. Halat. It shows that if you do this, after 20 days, you would feel difference. Yeah? Because otherwise, what he's going to report? So even after 20 days, you would start seeing some difference. Insha'Allah, موفق خواهید بود. Inshallah, you will be successful. Wassalamu alaikum, Muhammad Hussein Tabataba'i. So, this is something that, if you don't mind, we all now try to do.
I will report to you after 20 days.
No. We report together to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, maybe we can, inshallah, next week also, come and discuss.
But he has 20 days, we have just 1 week.
Yeah. We will do it for 20 days. But I'm saying even next week, inshallah, we will reflect on this. And if you have come across any experience, or for example, if you have questions, some thoughts, some ideas, we will discuss. And there are other letters of Allamah Tabataba'i that inshallah also we can discuss. But I don't want to give you too many letters. It's important that we absorb these instructions. So what we have to do, inshallah, is when you wake up in the morning, and when I wake up in the morning, we all decide, inshallah, to do everything to please Allah, and we do only those things which will be beneficial for your akhirah. And in the night, we review. If anything was good for the sake of Allah, we thank Allah. If anything was bad or not beneficial, we ask forgiveness. And either we recite these 5 chapters or at least Suratul Hajj. Yes. Assalamu alaikum.
If you give some instructions of waking up in the morning and having a serious intention of a particular thing, but what about throughout the day? How to sustain, how to maintain that through,
So you have to keep remembering this. And if you think you may forget, have something in front of you. For example, a nice, quote or writing about Muraqabah. Okay? You can have, something al-Muraqabah in front of you so that you remember. As I said, in the beginning we may forget, but gradually the time that we remember would be more than the time that we forget, and then inshallah it becomes constant. Yes. Assalamu alaikum.
I just have a comment. It says to write 20 days to Allamah Tabataba'i with advice for this particular person, but maybe we can write to Mahdi, to write it down might benefit us directly.
Sure.
Mahdi.
That's a good idea. Definitely, yeah. Yes, it's very good. We can write to Imam Mahdi, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif, and then you would try to write it in the most honest way.
You have to. You have to write it in the honest way.
Yes.
Because he's watching you.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I think we should give one step at a time. It's difficult at the beginning. Give one step at a time. Even when I become Muslim, was everything here. It was a new beginning for me, so I have to start one step at a time, and when you can become a habit. So
Yeah.
it was very difficult.
Yeah. Just try to do things for pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Even just
You don't need to do lots of a'mal, lots of ibadat. Just the main thing is try to do things
intention.
with good understanding. Why I am doing this? Yes.
Your opinion, why these specific surahs have been recommended out of these surahs of Hashr? Do you think there's a specific relation with these surahs to the question that was asked?
This is the power of tasbih, because tasbih is the food of the angels. Ta'amuhum at-tasbih. The angels have food. What is their food? Tasbih. The people of heaven, da'wahum fiha subhanaka Allahum. The people of heaven also, their call is tasbih. So these chapters of Quran which start with tasbih are very powerful spiritual tools. And by reading them, inshallah, then you would have very nice sleeping and maybe some spiritual also progress. Sometimes a mu'min during the night can achieve more than what he achieves during the day. Not to encourage you to sleep more. But because during the day you work for the sake of Allah, then Allah in the night gives you the reward. So sometimes you would have a very nice, dream, or maybe you don't remember anything when you wake up, but you feel, very peaceful. Yeah?
Is that sometimes?
Like, when your child has been, you have a young child, has been walking around, making himself tired, then you put the child to the bed, and when the child sleeps, you kiss his forehead or her forehead. So we hope that that's our experience, that when we go to bed, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would kiss our forehead, inshallah. So, yes.
I didn't mention much about understanding the surah, sort of interpreting it or reading the translation. We can say that part of the benefits of these chapters is in recitation.
Yeah, and because he's a talabi, so he would understand. Yes. Okay, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin.